All right, I'm here with Dr. Laura Wilson from the University of Indianapolis, watching what is now the longest State of the Union in history. Obviously, Laura, a lot of theatrics go into any State of the Union, some scripted moments and some moments that are sort of off script and some tense moments as well amidst this current political dynamic. What did you make of some of those moments tonight, particularly as it involved everything we've seen in Minnesota and some of the exchanges with lawmakers there about everything that's happened this year?
Well, the president did not shy away from some of those more controversial elements of his first year in his administration. He talked about immigration right off the bat. He certainly spent a good amount of time talking about the economy. He addressed the Supreme Court sitting there in the front row with regards to the tariff decision that they made last week, referring to it as unfortunate. He called out the Democrats several times. But at the same time, I think you saw several unifying elements in the State of the Union. There were great moments where you saw everyone come together, and I think to the earliest part in the address, where you had the men's hockey team that recently won gold in the Winter Olympics. Right, that's something that, of course, I think so many people can get behind. So really, a juxtaposition in this address from some of those tense moments, as you discussed, but also some of these really heartfelt, wonderful recognitions. And of course, it's the opportunity the president has in a State of the Union to bring in individuals, use that as an explanation for a platform, but also recognize some of the wonderful achievements that our country is having and the effect they're having on other people too.
In a midterm election year and in a year where the president is dealing with poll numbers that are as low as they've been, what is his main goal from this speech tonight, and what did he accomplish in that regard, facing some of those uphill climbs he has to face when it comes to the political map this year?
President Trump is trying to convince Americans that his party and his leadership is essential to success. And you're right, this is an election year. This is really his big pitch to the entire country for those that are tuning in and watching, saying, look, in 1 year, this is what I've done. And he has unified government. So it really is riding not just on the president, but of course his party, trying to connect that kind of success. He talked a lot in terms of the economy with regards to inflation. That was really important for him. And he also talked a lot about foreign affairs and the success that he's had there. I think those are going to be important. But immigration was very influential in the 2024 election, and it's not going anywhere. It's probably been the most divisive issue. I think that's something that he really tried to hammer home too. Obviously, State of Unions cover lots of topics. The president's hoping that he talked about something that's going to be seen as a victory for him amongst the perspective of the voters.
And yet, in this midterm election year, in this very divided time in our country, we also saw a number of Democrats decide not to attend the speech, including Indiana Congressman Andre Carson. This seems like a decision that a lot of Democrats made, though there were also many in the room tonight as well.
Yes, and on one hand, it's a personal decision. It's obviously very much a political decision. I think that is something that we say, well, it's an election year, right? It's an election year for all 435 voting members of Congress, and they're very much aware of not just the theatrics, it's the optics, and it's the decision of what does my presence mean and what does my absence mean. Increasingly, I think we've seen that that can be very effective as a tool to explain and really to illustrate to people what you agree with the administration and what you simply don't.
Laura, any other key takeaways from the State of the Union this year?
Yeah, well, I think the president covered a tremendous amount of ground. And I think you do see he gave several long addresses in his first administration. Obviously, this one now being the longest we've ever had. The president's really trying to make a strong pitch for Republicans in the November congressional midterms that they've been successful this last year, that voters should select them again under his leadership and enjoy more unified government coming up.
Dr. Laura Wilson joining us here after the longest State of the Union in history. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.